If this is your first time watching the show, first off, welcome in. My name's Joey Petersen. We do this daily. We only talk about the Baltimore Ravens. You found the perfect place, but I want to hear from you, okay? Type me if this is your first time ever watching, and also let me know what your favorite Ravens memory is. If you already have watched before, this is your second, third, 700th time, I don't care. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite Ravens memory is. Welcome in, everybody. On today's show, we're going to be talking about some great news the Baltimore Ravens got from the Green Bay Packers, and that is the fact that they are open to trading cornerback Jaire Alexander. Ian Rappaport broke the news on Wednesday morning from the NFL Scouting Combine, saying sources, the hashtag Packers, have had trade conversations centered around star cornerback Jaire Alexander, and they're open to moving him for the right price. And my initial reaction on this news is go get him, okay? That's my initial thoughts, because you look at this situation that Baltimore is in right now, with the quarterback that they have, with the running back that they have, with the way that this team is built right now, they could win a Super Bowl at any moment, okay? And you don't want to waste precious prime years of Lamar Jackson by not going out and being aggressive in free agency and in trades. And so my initial reaction is say, okay, go get him. It wouldn't be that expensive. Go do whatever you can. But then, as you always have to do in these kind of trade rumor situations, you have to think about the money. And when you trade for a guy like Jaire Alexander, it comes with a little bit of a price tag with him, okay? If you trade for him before the March 15th date, so that would be around 3 days after NFL free agency opens, it'd be a $16.15 million cap hit. That's the money that you'd owe him. That's the money he'd count against your cap space. If you do it post 3/15, so after March 15th, it goes up even more, and it's a $25.4 million cap hit. Now let's look at the money from Green Bay's side, their savings if he's cut or if he's traded, okay? If he's cut or traded prior to 6/1, they would save $6.84 million, and then in 2026, it'd be $17.14 million. If they wait and do it after 6/1, cut him after 6/1, they would save $17.08 million, and they would also save $19.50 million in 2026. And because of that, the $11 million difference in savings, I feel like he might just get cut after that June 1st date. Okay, I think he's going to be a post 6/1 cut designation because they'd save over $11 million than if they would cut or trade him before 6/1. Okay, and I think that amount of savings is worth a lot. And also, I think it's going to be hard to find a ton of teams that are willing to trade up an asset and then also take on that contract for a player who's only played in, 7 games in the last 2 seasons? And so I kind of might be under the impression that I want Baltimore to just wait it out, see if he's cut. And if you're feeling and if you're hearing like a lot of teams are interested in going to trade for him, then get in those trade discussions. That's what I think, in my opinion. But you do something for me. That's be the GM. Be Eric DaCosta. What would you do with Jaire Alexander? Type T for trade. Give me a W for wait. Want to hear what you guys would do if you were in that situation. Would you trade for him, or would you be patient and wait for him to see if he gets cut? Let me know in the comments down below. When you look at this cornerback depth chart, it's an interesting situation going into 2025. Because you got 2 guys in Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins that you're very confident in, and I think that you should be. And outside of that, there's not a lot. And that's even adding to the fact that Brandon Stevens, Trey White, Jalen Armour-Davis, Trayvon Mullen, all of those guys are set to be unrestricted free agents on that March 11th date, okay? But thinking of those guys being out of there, Brandon Stevens, namely, it feels like Jaire Alexander would just slide right in and fit perfectly with this Ravens secondary, okay? The type of player that he is when healthy, the types of plays that he makes when healthy are the exact plays, in my opinion, Baltimore was missing this season, especially on the front half, okay? And I know it's been a while since he's been healthy, but we're only a couple years removed from that 2022 season when he was an absolute monster, right? That contract season for him, 56 tackles, 4 of those for loss, 14 pass breakups, and 5 interceptions. And the great thing about it is we already know that Lamar Jackson's on board because of the time they spent together in college, okay? They were college teammates at the University of Louisville. They already had practiced against each other during the training camp period a couple years ago. They talk about how much they mean to each other. They talk about how great it is to seeing them both do so great. They have a relationship. I think Lamar could be and will get on board with this very, very quickly, okay? I personally would rather trade for Jaire than sit on my hands, wait if he gets cut, and miss out on him, okay? I think that you could win a Super Bowl this next year, even without him. But for the opportunity to add him to this roster, it's worth it to me to just give him a 5th-round pick and possibly then renegotiate that contract, okay? And even if you are taking on the $16 million, that's a lot, but it's like, for a guy who's going to be fully healthy going into 2025, who's 2 years removed from a Pro Bowl season, it's worth it, okay? Coming up, I got some concerns with Jaire Alexander that we've got to dive into, okay? Because it's not all just roses, unicorns, butterflies. But you know what is roses, unicorns, and butterflies? It's our friends over at Factor. I could not think of a better sponsor for today's video because I promise you, you guys are going to want to take advantage of this deal. Are you ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes. So you can fuel up and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active or busy lifestyle. You can lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. And the great thing I love about Factor is the food tastes so good, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, you're looking at that Peruvian-style chicken on the right side of your screen. And I'm somebody who likes to try a lot of different foods. That sounded really good to me, but you're also thinking, there's no way. It's just heat and eat. It can't taste that great. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it does. So eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/FactorPodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. The link to this promo will be in the comments and description of today's video. So go check out our friends at Factor right now. And I got to tell you this because we are getting to the tail end, the final day of our February sub battle with Steelers talk. We've been going at it all month long, I guess, and we're only 12 subs behind, okay? Let's finish out this month strong. Let's do it for me because I'm the one who has to deal with our Steelers talk hosts if we don't beat them. 12 subs, that's all we got to make up. It is in your hands. I need you guys to help me out. If you haven't already, hit that sub button. We give you daily news, rumors, anything else you could want surrounding the Baltimore Ravens. So if you haven't yet, subscribe right now. So the thing about Jaire Alexander and the concern I have with Jaire Alexander and trading for him, giving up assets and paying him that contract, is he just hasn't been able to see the field. Okay, it's plain and simple in that fact as well, okay? 4 games played in 2021, played all 16 in 2022. You saw the season that he had. But then 2023, 2024, 7 games each. So in one of his last 4 seasons, he's played more than 8 games. Okay, he's just not there. But still, with all those things added to it, I think it's more than worth it. Okay, because of how this team is set up, because this team could go out and win a Super Bowl tomorrow. okay? How frustrated were all of us the entirety of this season, even when the secondary started playing better? How frustrated were we with the play of Brandon Stephens, with the plays that he was letting up, okay? With the things that wide receivers were doing to him. You put Jaire Alexander in that spot healthy, that's not happening, okay? And this also can give you a new draft focus, okay? In my opinion, you definitely go pass rusher first round, right? You do that round one. Then in the second or third round, you either go wide receiver or safety, okay? You kind of mix match those in my opinion. And then the fourth and fifth round, you go defensive tackle or offensive line, okay? And so there's so many benefits to this, okay? Because this cornerback class, it's really top heavy, but after you get past that first and second round, there's not a ton of talent. And I would rather trade for Jaire Alexander, focus on pass rushers in this draft because I think there's a lot of really great gets deep into the draft. And when you look at the picks, they've got a lot of them, okay? They really do. So trading away a fourth, a fifth, or a sixth rounder for Jaire Alexander, it really doesn't even make a dent because they've got 11. I can't even put all of them on the screen right now because you got one in round 7 as well. They got 3 sixth rounders, 2 fifth rounders, 2 fourth rounders, a first, a second, and a third. And you really wouldn't have to trade that much to get them either, okay? It'd be around a 5th round pick. I know it's because it's a lot of name value that you probably think it'd be a little bit higher, like a second and next year 6 or something like that. I really think Green Bay would do a 5th because they get to save some money and they get something back, okay? And so let me know. Would you accept this trade if you were Eric DeCosta, if you were Steve Bisciotti, and you were presented with Jaire Alexander for a 5th rounder? Would you do it? Type A for accept, type D for decline. Now, if you do it, and heading up to doing it, there are some things to figure out, okay? Because the Ravens right now, they sit at $8.9 million in cap space. Not a lot. Actually, this was scripted out before the new salary cap became apparent and became official. That's actually going to be $12.2 million in cap space. Still not a lot. However, DeCosta on Tuesday said he was optimistic in a Stanley deal. Stanley's projected to get somewhere around $20 million, okay? And Alexander's owed $16.5 million in 2025. So just those two players, if you add them together, that'd be around $37 million. You're sitting with $12 million right now. So there are some things that aren't adding up, right? Somewhere the wires are getting crossed. But we've already talked about there's a lot of moves that they can make a lot of money happen, okay? Trading Mark Andrews, extending Derrick Henry, extending Lamar Jackson, cutting Justin Tucker. A lot of those things can get you a lot of money, and you can make this happen. Thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join us for daily Ravens videos. This is the best place to be. It is the middle, the end of February, and we're still giving you a video every single day. So if you love this team, if you love this city, if you love this channel, hit that sub button.